Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, with my guest, Sarah Lyons. She's a beautiful spirit, and I'm so grateful that she has chosen to come on my show and share with you who she is and what she's all about. So, Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, Tammi. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Lyons, and I own a business called the Goddess Alchemy Academy, and I lead visionary women into superconscious creation to manifest the life and business of their dreams. And I've been doing this for 3 years now. So thank you so much for having me, Tammi.
All right, so let's get into it. Talk about how you got here and what made you decide to create this Goddess Alchemy Academy.
Yeah, well, let's try and condense that story down. After a dark night of the soul, I was heavily into drugs and alcohol and trying to fill that hole in the soul with men. I was just an empty vessel, and it was 2014. I surrendered to the universe and said, I'll do whatever it takes. I had lost my children, my home, my everything. I felt soulless. And it was at that point of surrender that it was like I was given a new lease on life. I found recovery. I hit the ground running. I did all the things. I followed the nudges and the breadcrumbs and just really went with the flow because I was just so open to it. Just so open to whatever I needed to do to change my life, to really turn it around. And I thought I was going to end up being a midwife because I was registered in that area. But I had this deep calling, like this deep heart calling that I was here to do something bigger in this world, and I had no idea what it was. So I just followed those breadcrumbs. It was healing. It was learning this healing modality. It was learning about coaching and just coming into this online space and following those breadcrumbs, like I said, and it's led me to where I am today, where I now get to assist other women who are spiritual entrepreneurs who also want to impact many lives. And I believe that is the core collective purpose of why we are all here, is to really assist each other and to help in the ascension of the planet.
That is huge. I love it. I love it. It's because I see you making an impact, because the backstory is Sarah and I met on Facebook in a few different groups, and I saw her, from the time I met her until now, she's like a spiritual dynamo. And I just love that. And I'm so grateful, because it's like to see real people actually move and attain things that maybe they possibly wouldn't have attained, and the impact that you're making on the world is what I see. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So when you were at this place, what was the first thing that you decided to do as far as learning spirituality?
Yeah, so it was Reiki. So I went off and learned all about Reiki and had my attunements done, did the 1, 2, 3, became a master, went on to do quantum Reiki, became a quantum Reiki master, a meditation teacher, a happiness life coach, and then my business has just shifted and transformed along the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because a lot of people in this space don't realize that you might start here, but then eventually you'll end up here. There'll be shifts and changes and, transmutations is what I call them.
Yeah.
Because like you, I started in Reiki, and I always tell people Reiki was like the gateway energy for me. That was the thing that opened everything up. And then after that, there was other things that followed. So Is that something that you share with the people that you work with, especially the spiritual entrepreneurs, that it's okay for them to shift and to move and to go where they're feeling called? They don't have to stay, just because you're a Reiki master and a quantum Reiki master, you don't got to stay there. Or you can make a combination of all of those things in the work that you do.
Yes, 100%, Tammi, and that is at the core of a lot of my teachings, is that I believe everything is culminating in your experience to take you to that next step, to the next step, because we're always in our own now moment. So now, right where I am now, I am a soul life business coach. In 5 years, I could be something completely different. So I always teach about, like I said, again, following those breadcrumbs and just being happy with the now. This is where I am now, and being open to where that's going to lead you next, because it all becomes tools in your toolbox for what it is you do in the world.
Yes, that's phenomenal. It all becomes tools in your toolbox. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm writing that one down.
Beautiful.
So I have one question. Is it something that you are curious about in the world that has nothing to do with your business or your life? Just anything?
Curious about?
Yes.
That is such a good question.
I can share mine if that'll help you.
Yes.
So I was asked that question and I thought it was a great question, so I brought it here.
Really?
And the thing that I'm curious about is, why does everything have to go back in the future to the past? Like The Walking Dead and all these apocalyptic things. Why do we have to go back to riding horses and all this kind of stuff? I mean, why can't it go to where the Jetsons are? Where we're in flying cars and all this stuff. Why do we got to go back to, sleeping outside and, having outhouses and all this kind of crap?
Yeah.
That was my curious thing.
Okay. And just to get a better perspective on what you meant by that, like, do you mean why? So what did you mean by why do we have to go back? Is that where you think we're going? Like,
No, I'm saying, when you see the movies, The Walking Dead and all these things,
yes.
all these apocalyptic movies, everything's going back to the past. So I'm curious about, why is that? Why do we got to go back to that? I don't like horses, so I'm not going to be riding on one of those.
It's interesting that you say that, because I am curious about that very aspect on where the planet is going, and is it going to be that there's some global conundrum that takes us all back to living as we used to, or are we going to keep ascending, which is why I believe a lot of us have incarnated at this time, which is to help us shift into that more, like you said, the Jetsons, rather than having to go back.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very curious. I believe that's a big part of why we're all here at this time. So my curiosity is, and my hope is, that happens in our lifetime, that we start to see those shifts into this, what we call new earth period. And how is that going to look? Is it going to look more like the old days, or are we going to ascend in a more graceful, beautiful way together, with love,
Yes.
and compassion for the rest of the world? I think we're going to see a lot of shifts and changes.
Yes. And I agree. I really have hope, and there was a time when I didn't. I was like, I don't know what's happening in this world and this planet, and it looks like it's going to implode, and whether we'll see certain things in our lifetime, I don't know, because I have quite a few years behind me. But yeah, I think that's amazing. That is amazing. So when you are looking at ladies that were, say, where you were before as you started on your journey, what would be the first thing that you would say to them, to help them?
Definitely not to ever give up, because this journey comes with good times and bad times, and we as humans humans tend to give up quite easily in the mess, and it's what I call that up-level chaos. That is actually the time when you need to keep going.
Yes.
So I would hate to see anyone give up on their dreams because of a bad day or a bad situation. And I've had many in this journey of becoming an entrepreneur. But I kept going because I knew that the mission was so much bigger than me. So it's really holding on to that vision of why you're doing it in the first place.
Yes. Holding on. Yes, that is awesome. So in the pandemic, in this wonderful, beautiful thing that we've been all dealing with globally, which when I think about that, it seems that it's something united that we've all been dealing with. So it's not just, America's dealing with this, or the UK is dealing with this, or Australia's dealing with that, or, Africa's dealing with that. Everybody, all of us have been dealing with this thing. So how has that changed your perspective in anything?
If anything, it was more of a confirmation for me. I knew that something big was going to happen with our planet, and I knew that it would bring us closer together. And yes, I can see it is causing, it's issues in certain parts of the world, if not all parts of the world. And some of us are dividing. I believe more of us are coming together than dividing. We're seeing our planet as the collective community that we really are, that we all can experience this thing at the same time and have compassion for our fellow human beings. So that's what I've seen. That's what I've taken on from this anyway.
Yes, that's perfect, because that's exactly what I was thinking too. And I felt the same way as you. I felt like I knew something was coming, but I just didn't know what.
Yeah.
And I kept feeling this thing where I was being guided to be prepared, just be prepared, and working in healthcare, that's been a little challenge,
Yes.
But it's going to work out like it's going to work out, and I truly believe that it's not over. Yeah. And I think it'll probably go on for a little while longer than what they're projecting. How do you feel about that?
I completely agree with that and feel that very deeply too. And it honestly wouldn't surprise me if it got worse before it did get better. I feel that is a big part of what, like we said, what was always going to happen on this planet. To actually aid in this ascension process, Mother Earth is trying to, she's trying to heal herself. She's trying to ascend herself. And in order for that to happen, it's like we're having this great cleanse. This big, great cleanse. Yeah.
I wanted to say that, but I was waiting because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, because what I saw was like almost like an implosion. Like it's going to get worse before it gets better. And the vision that I had was, because I love movies. I think about The Perfect Storm. I don't know if you saw that one. When they were in the boat and it was what's his name? Mark Wahlberg was in there and George Clooney, and he said, "Captain, I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay." And it was the calm before the real storm.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the vision that I got. I was like, okay, here we are. Everybody's like, oh, well, we can go out and we can do things and we can whatever. And then it's like, yeah, maybe not. Yeah. And that was the vision that I got. It was like, okay, here we are right here in this, where it's just calm right this second. But then around the corner, because you know what happened in that movie, they didn't make it.
Exactly. And that's the only part I really didn't like of that movie, because I like happy endings.
Me too. And I like George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
Yeah, it was. Even though we knew the story, we still hoped, that maybe it would be better. But yeah, I really do. I think that so deeply. It's like, and sometimes I'm afraid to even share that with anybody. And I don't share it with people that are not, in the spiritual community that, you know, can see that. So I'm grateful just for that conversation because what are you doing to prepare? Because for me, I've been doing a lot of meditation and a lot of prayer directing, in that area because, I feel like, just like you said, there's going to be a lot of loss. There already has been, but there's going to be more. And there's going to be some changes and things that people probably won't understand, especially if they're not living in that place of flow that you're talking about. And that to me is one of the greatest things. And that's to me, that was for me one of the greatest lessons to learn to live in that flow, and that still is a challenge sometimes. But I believe it's really the way that we're supposed to live. We're supposed to live in this place where, we recognize that, regardless of what's going on, everything is always going to be all right. And we're going to be able to move in ease and flow, and it's going to be good, and we're going to be chill at some point.
That is exactly my perspective on this. At the end of the day, whether we are taken out by a great cleanse or not, it is just our human form. We're so infinite that it does not bother me really. I'm sure I would, have fear stricken into me if something was happening to my family. I love and care about my family. But yeah, so for me, in preparing, like, we've got veggies growing because I don't know what kind of wave is coming next. I feel like that is coming, and I don't know how that's going to look. So I keep getting in my mind, if something that dire was to happen, we live next to the coast, we can eat fish, we've got vegetables growing in the garden, we've got chickens out the back, but I would prefer their eggs and not their meat.
I hear you there.
But I think something as horrible as that would be for almost everyone on this planet, that's the kind of stuff that's going to bring us together as community at the end of the day, is helping each other forge ahead, supporting each other. And I'm not saying it is going to be as dire as that. I'm keeping it open, my options open. So in the meantime, I am serving as many people as I can online, because I don't know if we're going to have an internet when this all happens. I don't know. So I'm serving as many people as I can, and I'm connecting with my guides a lot lately and just asking, what's the next thing I'm doing here? What's the next phase of my journey? And there's been a lot of very strong energies coming in, a lot of ancient energies, a lot of God and Goddess energy, a lot of Egyptian energy. So I feel like we are all very supported at this time. And really our job is to come from a place of love. I feel like that's such a big part of what can move us forward with more ease, with a lot more ease than a great catastrophe, is coming back to that heart-centered space as a collective is just going to do more than many could even know. So that's my part, is leading with love no matter what. Yeah.
I agree. I agree, because it's so much better with love. Because there's enough hate to go around. There's enough people doing it to go around, but I think that love is what moves the needle. And really, for me, it's like, I feel like we focus so much on the negative and the hate and all of that, instead of focusing on the love. Focusing on, healing, and focusing on, taking those next steps in order to be the best person that we can be, just to move ourselves into that place. And not even, even if you didn't help anybody, even if you helped yourself, and if you shared your love, and if you were kind, and if you, did something for somebody else, I find myself in that place where, I just really want to help everybody. And then I realize that everybody don't want help,
Yes.
And what do you do when you find yourself in that place? Because I know you do, because I can feel your energy and I know the type of person that you are just from watching you, and not even from having a conversation with you, but I just can feel it, and I can see your energy, and I can see how you have such a desire to help people. But when you run across people that say you want to help them, and you say, I'll do this for you, or I can help you to get to this place, and they just don't want it. I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this has happened quite a lot this year. It hurts because my heart hurts for them.
Yes.
And it hurts knowing that I'm obviously not contracted to help this person in this lifetime, and that I have to let go, and that can hurt very deeply. But I have to move on in order to serve the women that do want the help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you typically work with just women?
I do.
Okay. Awesome. Because I know you got the goddess thing going on, and I love that. Because I think that so many women don't, view themselves as goddesses, and they don't esteem and aspire themselves. And that is just unbelievable to me. I don't understand it.
And I stand for those women who don't think they're pretty enough or skinny enough or wearing the right clothes. It's not, and that is why last year I made a decision to not dye my hair again and let my grey grow out. I don't wear makeup. I used to wear makeup every day. I do like it, but just in this phase of my life, I feel the need to go a la naturelle and show women that you can still embody that goddess that is within you. It's not something you have to grasp for, no matter how you look. It's our right to be able to embody that and express that part of ourselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I do, because so I have people prospecting me for Mary Kay like every other minute, seems like. And I say to them, now these are women that have seen me, I do like hella Facebook lives, and all that. I'm everywhere. And so I'm like, you see me, and when you see me, what do I have on? Lip gloss. That is it. I like, I used to get my nails done on the regular, but since the pandemic, I've been doing my own nails. And so they're not all as beautiful as they used to be, but I'm doing them, and I'm like, I don't even wear my foundation. I probably need to throw away because it's that old. I don't wear any of this. I said, if you want to sell me something, sell me some pretty lip gloss, because that is all I wear. I was like, I don't wear anything else. I just started using moisturizer on my face because my mom told me I needed to start using moisturizer because I'm over 50 now. And so my mom's like, you need to start using moisturizer. And that is the only reason. Otherwise, I was never even doing hardly anything. So I'm like, it's natural and it's good and it's beautiful. And I'm looking at you now. You are natural and you're beautiful.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
And you'll be an encouragement to other women too, because I'm sure there are a lot of women that want to do that, because the world wants us to dye our hair when it starts getting gray and do all these things. And I can't even lie to you. I have a few grays, and every time I see them, I'm screaming at my husband, and he's like, baby, stop. No. Because they're like in the top somewhere underneath hair and stuff. He's like, no, it's okay. Don't even worry.
That's beautiful.
But I think that's courageous, though, that you've made this choice. And I'm sure that there are so many women that are like, wow, you probably got little girls saying, I want to be like her. She's so free. And, because the spirit that you have is a freedom. It really is. So we are going to wrap up. right now we're going to tell everyone, you're going to share last words, any last words for any of the women that are watching that maybe are at a place where they need what you provide. You can share, share some last words, and share if you have a program or something that you're enrolling people into, and then share where people can connect with you.
Sure. So I'll start off with the links. Obviously, my business name is Goddess Alchemy Academy, so you can literally Google that, or you can go to www.goddessalchemyacademy.co, not .com, or you can find me on Facebook, Sarah Lyons, or my business page, Goddess Alchemy Academy. And I do have some programs running for women in this industry, for spiritual entrepreneurs who are ready for 5-figure months and ascending to that next level. So you can check that out on my website or contact me directly. Now, the last thing I want to say is, once again, please, no matter where you've come from, what you've done, or who you are, you have the divine right and ability to transform your life just so much more deeper than you could ever know. You are so much more than your perceived human limitations. So please, whatever you do, just keep going. Just keep going.
That is so powerful.
Thank you.
That is so powerful. I love it. I am so grateful that Sarah has taken the time to come on my show. It's been amazing. I love spending time with beautiful people, and she is definitely a beautiful person inside and out. And her links and all of her bio and everything will be in the description of the video or the audio, wherever you listen or watch this. So you'll be able to click on and, connect with her in that way. So if you are a woman, especially a spiritual entrepreneur, and you are looking for, some goddess help, then Sarah is your girl. So I'm super excited and grateful that she's taking the time, because you're in Australia?
Yes.
She's in Australia. So I don't know what time it is there. What time?
Nearly 10 a.m., 20 to 10.
Okay. So it's morning. I was going to say, because I know I've interviewed a few people over in that neck of the woods, and we had to do some wrangling with our times.
It's a part and parcel of the industry too.
Yes. So I was like, okay, but I'm just grateful, and I'm so excited that she's decided to come on. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Sarah, for joining me here, because this has been just amazing. I've been wanting to interview this young lady for a while. And I decided to get the courage to reach out to her. So I'm just super excited. So again, this has been fabulous, and I'm so grateful to be having these conversations. Thank you for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi, with my guest, Sarah Lyons, and we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi.